Hey everyone, Nubkeks here, and welcome back to the Road to Grandmaster. And you better brace yourself for this one. You better brace yourself for this game. This will probably be a pretty long video. It's gonna be, there's gonna be a lot of things to talk about in this particular one. So going into this game, I am in a kind of fortunate position, actually being, well, we're team captain, of course, as usual, but we're also first pick, which is really nice. We can do whatever we want. So I decided in this game I was actually going to go for Ragnaros. Of course, they banned him away, but spoiler alert, they don't ban Ragnaros. The happy days we get to play him. He had been a hero. This was recorded a few days ago, and he's a hero that I have been coming to feel more and more and more is just extremely powerful. And actually he's going to be really interesting in this video for me, especially because I watched like Team Misfits use Ragnaros to amazing effect in their games in the HGC EU, the European Pro League, yesterday. So yeah, I'm gonna be able to talk about some of that as well in this particular video. It should be fun because, you know, I'll probably make a lot of mistakes in this. I'm not, as you can see in terms of our hero level on Ragnaros, or as you might have spotted, not that high. And I think this is also the first game I ever used Sulfuras Smash. So yeah, I mean, there'll probably be things we can improve on and stuff like that we can comment on throughout the course of this video. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Gonna learn a lot of things. I think. Anyway, Infernal Shrines is definitely one of Ragnaros's best maps. He's great at doing the lanes, he's great at doing the objective. You know, Molten Core lets you defend or push with the objective. He's just so strong here. Plus, of course, the Sulfuras Smash build. Sulfuras Smash has kind of emerged as the better heroic over time. With the Lava Wave nerfs and stuff like that, it has emerged as being the better heroic, or the more commonly chosen heroic. Which also lets you have immense pick potential, which is pretty cool. See, in terms of the draft so far, we actually have a Kerrigan. We have a pretty crazy pick combo. She's also Master Skin Kerrigan, which is reassuring. But I mean, a Kerrigan combo into Sulfuras Smash and then a Ragnaros attack should be pretty damn strong. We also got Brightwing as well, which is fine. Anyway, people saying, I think it was asking to ban Kelthus. Which is actually not a bad idea here. I think that's actually a good idea here. We'll see what we go for. There's still a lot of things left open that are very strong, of course. I think I'm gonna ban away Thrall, though. But yeah, I mean, like Diablo, Thrall, Kelthus, there's actually a bunch of heroes that are very strong. I think Thrall is the most important one to remove. They already have Greymane and Rhaegar, which is a pretty disgusting heroic combo. We really don't want, especially as Kerrigan Ragnaros, we really don't want to get caught in an earthquake. That's pretty horrible. Imagine, yeah, just imagine Kerrigan and Ragnaros caught in an earthquake, Bloodlust gets popped and they're just diving all over us. It would be pretty terrible. So I decided to ban out Thrall. They grab Zul, which is pretty intriguing. I like the Vala pick here a lot for us so far, actually, and the Diablo pick would be really good. Of course, they need to get a warrior, and they'll probably get Diablo. They actually opt into Muradin, though, which is a mistake in my opinion. He's obviously Master Skin Muradin. He feels confident on the hero. I think Diablo is just probably he's just better than Muradin, I think, overall. I think Diablo would have been really nice. It doesn't matter too much. They're both good heroes, but that does leave us open to get Diablo. This guy is suggesting we get Arthas, which is a terrible idea. No! Definitely Diablo. He's going to be like a solo warrior up the front lines. The stuns, the CC is going to be so valuable. And then our other player switches to Gul'dan. Gul'dan or Vala, they're both good. They're both very good. I'm very happy with either option. And then final pick for the enemy team could be pretty much anything here. We'll see exactly what they grab. They already have range damage, melee specialist, warrior, and a support. So they're pretty flexible. And they grab Kelthus. I do think that's a really good pick here, actually. I will be moving Kelthus up in the tier list as well. I think he's actually pretty good in the current meta. Against, you know, melee heavy teams. Without too much dive, he can be pretty good. Like, we've got a bit of dive. So he definitely needs to be careful. I mean, if we get him in a Kerrigan combo, he's probably going to die. So he definitely needs to be careful. Rhaegar can protect him, of course, with the cleanse, which is fairly likely, actually. Looking at their composition, it's fairly likely Rhaegar will be able to do that. But he does need to be a bit careful. And yeah, it should be pretty interesting overall. So let's give it a go, and we'll see how things work out as we load into the game. I think both teams have got a pretty good composition. You know, the flame strikes on top of like Rag, Carrick, and Diablo, obviously pretty scary. And we've got a lot of lockdown, a lot of CC, a lot of kill pressure, and very strong shrine control. Actually, both teams have picked pretty damn good heroes for the map overall. Actually, I think they're pretty good drafts both ways. We're gonna grab Sulfuras Hungers here with level 1 on Ragnaros. I think the Q build is overall the best one. I've always felt it's overall the best one. I think with nerfing the W build especially, it's pretty much the best one, full stop. Which is pretty nice. And looks like fairly standard level 1 talents overall for the most part. Actually, our Brightwing picked a Q talent at level 1. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me. Makes Arcane. It reduces the cooldown of his Q per hero hit. I guess it's going to be vaguely useful. I'm checking on Hotslogs to see the talents. You can't see. He hasn't picked it there. But it's quite bizarre. You'll see, he goes to Q build in this game, which is really weird. You'll notice it in the gameplay now that I pointed it out. Anyway, scouting out with the W. Don't spot anything. You can see Zool threw his Q into that brush as well. Kerrigan goes for the combo and misses, which is unfortunate. On a hero walking straight towards her. Not the best start to the game, but it could be much worse. It could be much worse. Actually, I think she's going to die, so I guess it is worse. We get a pretty good Q off on the enemy team. Kerrigan does go down. We almost got a couple of kills, but didn't quite work out. If only the combo had hit. Anyway, we continue putting some pressure on them, and we back off. So Kerrigan, first death already. But it's not the end of the world. It's definitely not a great way to start the game, but not a terrible way to start either. Brainmain is doing some poking. Just kind of very casually stacking my Q quest on these minions. Get a couple more. One thing definitely that stood out to me playing this game, Brightwing dies in mid lane, was that I'm really not an expert. You can see right there, for example, missing the Q on the melee minions. Not an expert by any means, and in fact missed another one, but at least we got one stack. Had a lot of trouble stacking that quest early in the game. I just wasn't feeling the Q. Especially part of this, of course, is because they did nerf the Q slightly. Kerrigan looking for a pick would have been a pretty risky idea. There's a lot of enemy heroes there. But yeah, I mean, I played most of my Ragnaros games. He's been nerfed a couple of times, but they did nerf his Q, and I wasn't quite used to that. We get a good W through the enemy team, get a nice Q on top of him as well. And the Ragnaros damage getting a lot of value there. Big W, big Q. We'll definitely take it. We end up trading 1 for 1. Kerrigan jumping after, but there's no way to follow. She lands an E on its own. No W to follow up on the Kelthis, which is unusual. We're going to Heartstone for mana and then make our way down to the shrine. The enemy team is winning the game with the kills that they've got. They're ahead of us in kills so far. And also, thanks to those kills, been soaking pretty well too. Kelthis steals a whole bunch of minions with a nice flame strike. Kerrigan does not look like she's doing her hopscotch. I don't think so. We'll see. I would have expected her to be doing so. Didn't quite see. We'll find out now. Anyway, we're slightly ahead on these things. Looks like they're chasing Greymane to the bottom, and that's okay. Diablo's in a bit of a rough spot. You can give him a speed boost, but I don't think it's going to help. He actually dies before anything can happen. Kerrigan also dies to the side, which is not ideal. So this is going to be a lost shrine for us, unfortunately. Gul'dan still going in. We're just going to speed boost him, make sure he gets out. We're going to come down here and start clearing this out. We've got 2 heroes dead, so yeah, there's no way we can test this shrine. Our teammates suicide basically. Yeah, they suicide basically. Diablo wants me to get in the fort. There's really nothing that could be achieved with that. Better to save Molten Core for defending against the Punisher. There's really nothing to be gained by actually drinking that early. Anyway, we bait the Punisher over, sidestep out of these, gonna move to a safe position, and then Molten Core hop in and defend against this. We're actually gonna fire some shots on the enemy team, try to just scare them away a little bit. Kerrigan dies again. It's not been Kerrigan's game so far, to say the least. But we are going to pick off this Punisher. This is part of why Ragnaros is so strong. Look at this. The fort, pretty much full health. You know, the tower got damaged at the back, but that's not a huge deal. And the front gate, not half destroyed. But it could have been a lot worse. Ragnaros is just so strong in this map because of that defensive capabilities. It's really, really useful. Now, as you can see, we've only got 9 stacks for our quest. We're really not doing a good job at all of finishing this quest. And that's definitely something that comes with a bit more familiarity with the hero. So you can see that was definitely a weakness so far in this game. Actually using the Q just to do some damage to Zul. He does catch me at the bone prison. Doesn't really matter. It's not going to do anything. Get a couple more Q stacks. Gonna try maximize the Q thing here. Actually finish off that minion. Did a little bit more damage than expected. Gul'dan is dead now. So Gul'dan says someone is missing. The person missing is him. But yeah, the game is definitely not going in our favor. We're a level and a bit behind, less than 5 minutes into the game. People are dying left, right, and center. It's a really, really big problem. And I mean, consider the fact that we've got Diablo and Kerrigan. We should really be the team that's getting the kills here, not them. Anyway, Kelthus has arrived. He's looking for a bit of a flank. We speed boost ourselves. Get a little bit out of there. The enemy team is collapsing upon us. Luckily, Kelthus didn't quite follow on time. And that's perfectly okay. We're just kind of lurking around to the side here. Looking for maybe an angle to re-engage. Diablo looks like he will go down, unfortunately. Definitely, I was a bit overextended there, actually. Which was, put us in an awkward position overall. But, yeah, we're now 2 levels behind, which is pretty brutal. At least we got the siege camp down bottom, which did a little bit of damage, so that's something. But more than likely, we definitely need to be super careful at this point of that level 10. Gul'dan chases Zul, and he puts himself in a really awkward position. Looks like he might actually make it out alive, though, just barely, which is fantastic. Murden looking for that kill, doesn't quite get it. Kerrigan, once again, I'm not sure what's going on here, but she's not actually doing a Kerrigan combo ever, which is really strange, especially for someone with a master skin. But she's just firing off E's on their own. Especially you think if there was a mana issue that she would be firing, the W would activate and E wouldn't. It's kind of strange, it's just the E's. Anyway, that was lucky. We actually got a few stacks off that minion wave. At this stage, of course, the enemy's level 10, so we don't actually want to fight on that shrine. That'd be a really bad idea. As you can see, though, looking at the minimap, that is exactly what's happening. Kerrigan is dead. I thought they both died in that team fight during the game itself. Actually, Gul'dan just got solo killed up top by Greymane, which is pretty awkward. But needless to say, we absolutely should not have been fighting right there. The enemy team had heroics. We did not. We basically just wanted to take our time, soak the lanes, get as much value as we could out of the map without actually fighting the enemy heroes. If we fight the enemy heroes, we lose, basically. We could have taken our bruiser camp. We could have done a lot of things. Definitely looking for a fight. I don't know what Gul'dan was doing dying solo. That made everything even more awkward. But the 3 of them fighting in mid lane, I'm not sure what happened. But it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. And the Kerrigan, she did the combo that time. It didn't hit. It didn't hit, but she did the combo. So, you know, that's something. That is something. It's level 11 to level 8 right now, which is pretty awkward. And, yes, I screwed this up right here. So I should go into the thing right away. Our teammates had kind of backed off. I didn't want to be channeling and then get caught by the Punisher's jump. I was very scared of that. What I did was I had to bait the Punisher jump out myself. Then when I went in, I died. Now I actually survived for longer than expected, because of our Q healing us. But yeah, because no one else went forward to bait the Punisher jump, I got scared. I wanted to maximize the value of Molten Core, which is why I didn't do it straight away. This Diablo is such an asshole, man. Unbelievable. He gets worse as well. It's hilarious. But anyway, Ragnaros level 5 here. Like, I'm actually level 6 Ragnaros, I'll have you know. And then, yeah, just the fact that he actually pissed me off quite a lot. But yeah, Diamond 2K17, he doesn't understand the concept that we are the team captain, which means we're better than him, which is funny. But we're shit because we're Diamond, so thanks for that, Ragnaros. Doesn't understand how the rank system and MMR works, unfortunately. Definitely a bit of a dodgy situation to actually be picking a fight in, but our teammates picked the fight, so we had to follow up. Looks like I'm going to die right here. We try to do our best to escape, but, just fundamentally, we were not yet level 10. The enemy team was level 12. They hit level 13, I think, during the fight. So it's getting a bit snappy. But I was getting pretty pissed off with this game, honestly. I was like, this is getting a bit too much. But definitely annoyed that, you know, the thing that annoys, you guys probably start to pick this up, but the thing that annoys me most actually is people being bad or saying stupid things. You know, it's not so much like, for example, I get pissed off when people say GG. It's not so much that, you know, they're giving up. It's more this the inherent stupidity of it, of giving up the game when, you know, it's not in a situation where you would actually give it up. That really annoys me, and the fact that they're making the call for the team and putting the team in a negative mindset and basically just throwing the game intentionally when they don't understand how comebacks can work in this game. That annoys me. In this case, it quite annoys me that Ragnaros would, you know, after all this, or Diablo, after all this shit that's happened in this game, and make one mistake, and then it's Diablo, or Ragnaros, that shit pisses me off. And then I was like, and then on top of that, you don't understand how team captain works. It's like, stop getting everything wrong, please. It's annoying. Let me hear. This is a potential fight for us. Looking for the pick, didn't quite land it. Again, the Kerrigan combo didn't hit, which kind of made that awkward to hit. But they do pick off the KT kill in the end, which is something. We're going to lose a couple of heroes in return. But definitely missing that Sulfuras smash. Big mistake there for me. Again, awkward because the Kerrigan didn't land the combo, so it was difficult to work out where everything was going. Kind of realizing she was going to miss it, trying to compensate, and yeah, it got messy. But as you can see, like, there's definitely the potential for us to actually win a team fight. Even though we're 4 levels behind, which is pretty brutal, it's not necessarily over. We still have some tools to actually come back in this. Like, I wouldn't be surrendering this game quite yet. We've also finished our quest, by the way, our level 1 quest, which is nice. So we can just use our Q with impunity to just maximize wave clear. We don't need to last hit anything. At this stage, we see the enemy team has sent multiple heroes up top. We've got multiple heroes in mid. So I'm going to push out bottom. Just continue getting that little bit of XP for us. And then get back in time to defend the top keep. We're going to have our Molten Core, so it's not going to be too bad. Going to Hearthstone here. Potentially we could have taken that bottom siege camp. We would have had time, but it's okay. Diablo is just running into the towers. He's been B-stepping and flaming. And at this stage, it looks like he's just given up on the idea of participating with his team. He's just face planting into towers. So that's nice. I told you, he's a wonderful person. Anyway, I'm going to defend the keep. Hopefully Diablo will come back at some stage. Again, I'm going to try bait this over myself. I really don't want to be the one to do this. I want to be going into Molten Core, but I'm not being really left any choice. No one else appears to be interested. So we're going to have to deal with that. Diablo dies. I actually, at this stage in the game, I hadn't noticed because I was having to deal with this push up top. I hadn't noticed that actually... Diablo got ganked by and killed by Greymane because he was just, you know, face planting into the walls. So yeah, I thought he was just intentionally feeding. We actually pick off Sul with the Sulfuras smash combo, which is pretty nice. But yeah, I thought he was intentionally feeding right there. Very common for people to do that. I mean, he was kind of just trolling and just AFK pushing because he was pissed off. But it wasn't fully his fault that he died. I think I report him as well after this because I kind of misinterpreted that. Understandable mistake though. Kerrigan missed the combo once again. And we're down a keep, but we're only 3 levels down now, which is something. So there is a potential that we could maybe come back here. Anyway, at this stage I was just done with this Diablo. Again, bear in mind that I thought at that stage that he had just pushed into the bottom keep, or bottom fort, until he died. Actually reported him for intentionally dying twice by accident. I thought it would go to abusive chat. But yeah, anyway. Insulting me as abusive chat. Thought he went intentionally died and was not participating in defending the keep, which he wasn't. But it wasn't quite as bad as all that. And we were in a bit of a rough spot here, overextending a little bit. We do have the heal from our Q, which is pretty nice. And of course, bear in mind our level 13 talent. I didn't actually say, but we picked up Resilient Flame. So whenever we get stunned, which enables us to be really aggressive against Murden and Kelthus, actually. It's a really strong talent. Resilient Flame. We get 50 armor whenever we're stunned. It's stupidly OP. So we get hit by a Kelthus stun or a Muradin stun, we get 50% reduced damage for 3 seconds. So we can actually be quite tanky in these team fights. It's really, really good talent. Other talents I picked up, by the way, Fire Ward level 4. So hitting our W or Meteor in Heroes gives us charge of the spell block. And then Hand of Ragnaros at level 7. So if we hit 2 or more heroes, we will... don't know what he's doing there. I wasn't paying attention. I only, flicked back to the video from the talent screen to see him die. Oops. Anyway, that was actually a waste, by the way, as well, to throw out Sulfuras Smash. Especially considering it's Diablo and he's respawned. So now we've got like 40 seconds where we're below capacity, basically. So kind of throwing out the futility heroic, I should have actually saved it, and then we would have had Sulfuras Smash to fight. It's a short cooldown. It's not the end of the world, but look, there's a fight happening right here. I could have been coming into this fight with my heroic. We could have grabbed that KT or something like that. So definitely something we could have done better. Giving a speed boost to Diablo, trying to get him on top of the enemy team. The Kerrigan, once again, I've no clue what this Kerrigan is doing. But she threw one W out, missed. We're going to focus fire here on this Keltis. Get him with the W, get him with the E, get him with another W. We've got him low. Then we're just going to turn around and start wave clearing. Thought that maybe we'd have a bit more chase there. That maybe this was the turn. It wasn't quite the turn, but it still worked out pretty well. It's going to cancel out that Molten Core early. There's really nothing more to do. And anyway, this is starting soon. Want to get that cooldown ticking away as quickly as possible. Diablo goes in, gets a nice Apocalypse, and we land a nice Sulfuras Smash on top of it. That worked out very well. Greymane's in the middle of the team as well, and he does go down. And that's another 2 enemy heroes dead. Level 17 to 18. We're only 1 level down once again. Not a very good meet. I think, did that hit him? I'm not sure if that hit him. I think the Kerrigan just killed him. There was a badly aimed meteor. But yeah, I don't know what's happening with Kerrigan this game. She's just not comboing at all, which sucks. But hey, let's not complain too much because we're having a bit of a comeback here. We're going to get ourselves a Punisher. We've won the last kind of couple of fights quite well. And a bit of a throw by the enemy team. I don't know what they're doing pushing in bottom lane. They got a bit overconfident. And yeah, we're going to start pushing this Punisher in. Gul'dan's up top having to de-push that lane. So we need to be a little bit careful here. And see, Murden jumps in and we trigger Resilient Flame. That's he's got stun on Dwarf Toss, I believe. Let me double check. No, he does not. That was a Q. Nice Sulfuras Smash. Follow it up with a basic attack and Zul goes down. So that's another kill for us, and this is pretty good news. They're starting to really get... Now they're really trickling their deaths at this stage, and we're actually ahead in terms of XP. Remember that time in this game we were 5 levels down? Hey, we're now ahead in terms of XP. Also, another illustration of why I hate people saying GG. Like after they lose one team fighter, they die once. It's the stupidity that drives me nuts more than anything. But anyway, we dismount the Keltis, which is nice. And oh, holy shit! The disengage horrify. The unnecessary disengage horrify comes out. That's not what you want to see. I'm not sure exactly what he was going for there, so we have to be a little bit careful for the next while anyway. We're not going to have horrify, so we're not really in a position to have a good team fight. The Brightwing build, as you can see, is quite unusual. She has reduced cooldown on Q at level 1. She's got range on Q at level 4. She didn't take anything for Q at level 7. Or 6, and then level 13 she has it slows enemy heroes. It's weird. Anyway, I think I let my team know to be careful. I'm going to come deep push this lane, get those catapults away, and we see there's a bit of a fight going on, so we're going to make our way down. We're a little bit late. Looks like a fight did break out. Must have been a good position for us to grab one. And they actually picked off Rhaegar first of all, which is really nice. We're going to pick off Greymane, actually finish him off with a basic attack. There we go. And we actually still have Sulfuras Smash, which is pretty nice. And there's pretty interesting choices, I have to say, for Ragnaros at level 20. Pretty interesting choices. At this stage, we're actually just going to manually push down. This fort, I think, is the best option overall. I think actually as well with Ragnaros, if you hit the fort with your Q, I think it just splashes to all the minions nearby. I think it's a pretty big splash. So I should have been doing that instead of running for the things. Not a huge deal, but it's something small that you could improve on. I could improve on. And we could all improve on, I suppose. If you didn't know that. I'm gonna clock Muradin with a Q. We did of course pick up Giant Scorcher at level 16. So our Sulfuras Smash puts a dot for 3 seconds. That does how much is it? 3% of the enemy hero's max health per second. So 9% total. It's pretty damn good. So we're going to be doing a lot of damage with our Qs. Anyway, we steal away this camp and then we're going to rotate around. Obviously be careful not to be caught out by anything here. That will create a little bit of pressure, slow them down a little bit getting to the shrine, which will let us start off early. Taking the Bruiser camp is not a terrible idea actually. We should have time to do so, and that will put us in a good position. Again, we got a lot of damage between myself and Gul'dan, so we should burn it down fast enough. As you can see, it took about 5 seconds or so. And then we can make our way up to the shrine. Our teammates should be clearing it pretty quick. Looks like the enemy team might be making a beeline for the keep though, so we do need to be a little bit careful. Alright. Just trying to work out which way the enemy team is going here. Nice teleport by Brightwing plus Emerald Wind. Actually keeps the Gul'dan alive. He went a bit too ham in defending right there. So it's good that he was there to protect against that. We're just going to try wave clear and poke those heroes a little bit with our W. And then the enemy team, they're just giving up this shrine for the sake of getting the fort. That's fine, we're going to start focusing down this Greymane, hopefully get a kill on him. Sulfuras Smash does land and does maximum damage, though he does dodge out the range of the other abilities. We catch him on the back foot with the W, might get the kill on him there. We get nice damage down on the Keltis as well, and that is a dead Greymane. Pretty nice stuff. We try to cancel out a Molten Core. It actually was just running out just on time. And the heroic difficulty there, really empowering us and letting us do a lot of... get a lot of damage down as well, which is pretty nice. This should be a good fight for us with him being dead. Actually, Kerrigan almost dead herself. She does go down, but we do pick off the Zool with our Meteor. And there's a dot on the Murden. He should die, and Murden does go down, which is pretty fantastic. I think that was the dot from our Q, actually. Or no, maybe it was Gul'dan. It was probably Gul'dan. I don't remember. But yeah, as Kerrigan says, how do they manage to throw this? Because that is definitely what the enemy team is doing right now. They've got 3 heroes dead for 1 right there. It was a nice Horrify to set that up, plus the fact we got Molten Core on top of it. The Horrify just put Greymane in a horrible losing position. There's nothing he could do. But yeah, the power of Ragnaros as well, helping Molten Core, just protecting from the enemy's attempts to just take out the keep. You know, trade the Punisher for a keep. Not a bad idea overall. I'm going to back up at this stage. Just try to stay safe. We got Molten Core coming up in 8 seconds. So this could actually be a game-winning opportunity. Punisher's on the core. We actually go for Sulfuras Smash and miss it. But we do pick up Rhaegar nonetheless. He's kind of flipped the opposite way from what I expected. And we're kind of pushing in. The Punisher is down. We've all our, 4 heroes left alive. Well, we're low enough on health. So maybe we should back off. Pretty big Flame Strike damage comes in. I'm going to pop Molten Core just to try to defend here. See if we can make anything happen. Looks like we're not going to be able to. Little bit late there on that. Doesn't matter too much. The Horrify I'm talking about. So Gul'dan does go down. This is a little bit awkward. I'm pretty much dead at this stage as well. I know it's going to spawn in the middle of the enemy's base. So we're going to try to do as much as we can with what little life is left for us. Zool actually comes back in. Not sure what he was thinking. And we simply finish him off with a Q and then a basic attack. He got greedy. All he got to do was walk away and watch me die. But he came in, so luckily, me being in a bad position for Molten Core, through no skill of my own really, just happened to, Zool just made it an okay death, pretty much. Made it a 1-for-1 death, which I'm more than happy to take and deal with. There you go. As you can see, by the way, Keltis doing massive damage right there with that Q build. Absolutely massive damage. Really effective against the sort of melee team that we do have. He's doing a lot to kind of keep the enemy team in this game. Anyway, Gul'dan hadn't noticed that Kerrigan wasn't with us. But yeah, remember we had the same bug. I think it was our Diablo game where the death timers didn't actually show on the top of the screen. That happened to Gul'dan. He didn't see the Kerrigan wasn't alive, and that kind of led him to miscalculate a little bit, which is pretty understandable. That's a pretty bad bug to be afflicted with, no doubt about it. Anyway, we're all 4 versus 4 currently on the map. The enemy team is picking up siege camps. That's fine. We can kill them pretty quickly. They shouldn't be too much of a threat. We, of course, have Molten Core to try to defend as well. This is pretty scary. Letting my teammates know I've got Molten Core, actually. Diablo's in a bit of a tough spot. We're actually going to pop into Molten Core straight away. Apocalypse actually being burned to try to defend right there. I thought actually the Molten Core would go closer than it actually did. It doesn't. I thought it reached farther. Again, bit of a new Ragnaros, and you can see that. Thought that would go further than it actually did, and it didn't. So we're going to cancel out just pretty much straight away and make our way over here. Kerrigan is in the midst of the enemy team, and that's just fine. We land a huge Sulfuras Smash on the enemy team. Boom, they all explode. Well, Kerrigan exploded as well, but that's okay. That is 3 enemy heroes dead for 1 once again. That's our favorite way to trade. We're going to trigger this shrine and start working on it. Give Diablo a bit of a speed boost, help him get in on top of this Murden. And I'm going to start working on the shrine. Actually, Murden walks away with a sliver of HP, so that was definitely my bad. I think I say to the team as well, my bad. I thought they had it locked down. I thought they would get the kill, and that'd be more efficient for me to just take out this thing, the shrine, instead of chasing unnecessarily. In the end, if I had chased, we would have killed Murden, and it would have been more beneficial to us. So just letting the teammates know that, oh, sorry guys, miscalculated there. And yeah, just, you know, apologize for mistakes made. Anyway, this Murden is trying to contest. Obviously, I don't know what he's trying to do, actually. It's a bit weird. He just triggered Resilient Flame for me. It's like, thank you very much. I'll take that. And yeah, here we go. We're going to be pushing in, and the enemy team will all respawn. Kerrigan will be running from base. So this is going to be a pretty tricky situation, even though it is like a 24-minute Punisher. This is a very powerful late-game Punisher. But because there are only 4 of us against 5, it could be pretty scary. I would love to get Molten Core and go in when the keep goes down, and maybe we could push on core. That would be a pretty cool possibility. Not sure if that's actually going to work out, though. See, I'm just lurking, waiting for my opportunity here. Trying to get the Greymane with a Sulfuras smash. Brightwing got just evaporated in that fight, kind of panicked, and then missed the center of the Sulfuras smash. Didn't realize as well that Kerrigan had died behind us, being chased down by Murden. Now we got a pretty good heal off with our Q. Could have landed another Q there. Bit of a noob mistake for me, not realizing we had that cooldown reduction from the level 7. Talon Kerrigan comes in. She does die. So only Diablo left alive, and that is a pretty bad fight for us to take. That is a pretty bad fight for us to take. Yeah, I think I'm not sure, but definitely I'll try to get that one in the slow-mo replay maybe at the end of the video, because I think that would be well worth watching again. I didn't even catch everything the first time through that. But anyway, this Gul'dan is really obsessed with Kerrigan not being, like, she is legitimately dead. I don't know what he's doing. This is a nice move by Diablo, though. Looks like he might even kill this Kel'Thas. No, not quite, but it's a good attempt. Hopefully he can make it out alive, or hopefully he has souls. He hasn't died in a while, I don't think, so I think he has the souls to survive. He's actually making a great escape. This is looking like it could be game, though. This is not good. The enemy team is pushing onto our core. They don't have Greymane, though. Ragnaros is actually going for it. The rest of his team backing off, though. Zetso in chat. He was running from core. He was definitely dead. I don't know. Maybe he did Hearthstone in between. I didn't really notice. Doesn't matter too much. Anyway, I think what happened in that last team fight was that we were 4v5. That Brightwing just got exploded right at the start. Obviously, I panicked, missed the Sulfuras smash, which is a big mistake. I don't know what else happened, but I think that's enough for a team fight to go pretty badly wrong, even if you do have a Punisher with you. So that's unfortunate. We also didn't get to use Molten Core during that fight, which doubly sucks. And this is a potential pick down bottom lane. These guys are overextending pretty hard, actually. We are on the way over. It's kind of lurking here, and this is very late game, where literally one pick can make the difference between life or death. Figured I had time to scout that out, and we just about did, so that's alright. Use a W to scout this out a bit more. They're not there. They've actually backed off. They're scared as well. Who wouldn't be? They also have siege camps pushing top and middle. Merc camps, that is. So this is pretty intimidating. A big Kel'Thas Flame Strike does land, and Chunks go down. Brightwing in a tough spot, pinging danger, letting the teammates know. But Brightwing does make it out okay. Pretty close, though. Pretty damn close. I would also point out that a big problem is that Brightwing has Sticky Flare, her Q slowing enemies at 13, instead of Spell Dust or whatever. Which, you know, would have protected from Kel'Thas, but it's not a big deal. Anyway, we really need to fight this. Anyway, I was saying, like, Shrine is lost. If they get the Shrine, I think they win the game. There'll be a full health Punisher pushing on... Well, it's always full health. But Punisher pushing without any keeps. Well, we've got one keep, but it'd be very difficult to defend. So I'm actually going to use this to stall this out and try start us off. And it should be back up by the time they get around. I'm going to use my Q to do a bit of wave clear here as well on the W. But anyway, it should be back up maybe in time to defend against this. And we're going in for a fight here. Trying to get the pick on the Murden. He goes pretty low, but he is going to survive. Should maybe focused on the Greymane instead. We get some pretty good damage down on him, though, and scare him away over to the bottom left. This looks pretty good. We're going to get a huge Q on 3 members of the enemy team. That is a lot of damage, and that is 4 dead enemy teammates. Of course, they did get the Punisher in the meantime, but... Thankfully, even though they did get the Shrine, the fact that we got kills off the back of it means that this should be okay. I'm trying to bait the Punisher away and just kite him away from this the core as much as possible. We don't want the core to take any damage if we can. Again, we can afford to take damage. Greymane is lurking in that top lane, but he's not going to actually do anything, so that's good. Brightwing doing a good job of kiting this guy around. We're just trying to put out maximum damage. See, catapults have arrived as well. Gonna throw my W there to the left-hand side. Help Diablo clear that out. He is focusing the catapults down as well, which is good to see. The core actually survives. All but shields are down, but it didn't take any damage. That is a huge deal. That is such a big deal that we managed to defend that. That was a really awkward position there for us. Having to go into a losing shrine fight, knowing that if the enemy team had a Punisher and could push in, that was probably game. You can imagine what that push would have looked like if the enemy team had all been there as well. I mean, just the Punisher on its own, with us giving it our full attention, it destroyed all the shields. If the enemy team had been there, you know, that's just game over pretty much. They could have killed us. The CC follow-ups, it would have been brutal. So we really had to force that fight, and it was very awkward, but we managed to do it. And once again, I'd say at this point, the game is pretty much dead even. Both teams pretty much equal on level. There's not any huge difference between the two at this stage. Both cores vulnerable. Worried at this stage that they might actually be going for a backdoor, which is why I'm heartstoning. I want to be in position for Molten Core as quickly as possible. Luckily, the enemy team is actually a bit too scared to go for that option. But it definitely is a very real option. I mean, like, a Bloodlust Greymane on top of that. Pretty damn scary. They could burn down that core very, very quickly if they wanted to. So we definitely need to be careful of that possibility. If they get past us, if we lose map control and they sneak past us, that's a dead core. Our team not as good at taking out the core. Ragnaros not the best core killer. You know, we have a lot of AoE damage. We don't have, and like pick potential, we don't have the best core killing thing capability. I think if we went for that, we'd probably die. So there's that. Now this is a pretty scary situation here. 30 minutes into the game, one of the longest games we have played. I think the longest game we've played this season. We're lurking. We are lurking, looking for something. Actually, the enemy team is nowhere to be seen. We're going to come out and just clear out this wave. Remove that threat from the core, from the mid lane. The top lane should kind of balance each other out. We're just lurking here. This is pretty scary. Where is the enemy team? They actually reveal themselves on the shrine, which is a really, really nice thing for us. They could have stalled that out so much more. And Kerrigan is wondering if we all in. I think that's actually not a bad choice. Once again, no Kerrigan combo, just the Q. We go for Sulfuras Smash, but unfortunately the Horrify has spread everyone out, in fact making them miss the Apocalypse as well. Greymane is on top of us. We're doing what damage we can, but we are going to go down. It's 3 versus 2 at the moment, but it's looking okay for us. Rhaegar goes down. That's a big deal. We've got the healer. They do not. Zul in a tough spot. No combo once again, but the E does pull Zul back enough for us to pick up the kill. And that is 3 for 2 in the end. That was very, very lucky. Again, it was a messy fight. A lot of things went wrong there, but hey, we still won the fight, so let's just be positive right now. That's exactly what we need. Just stay positive and see if we can end the game. Anyway, people are saying that should be game, because I'm saying not yet. It's looking pretty good for us. We've actually got a good push up top as well. Kerrigan going in. Lands the combo this time. Nicely done. Brightwing landing a whole bunch of Qs with that. Yeah, look at that. So many Qs. Unbelievable. What a great talent build. Who needs, like, pixie dust or whatever, shield dust and bouncy dust? That wouldn't be good against Kel'Thas. Who needs that when you got all these Qs, man? Look at those Qs. I think what our intent was is to, like, poke onto the shrine and try to steal stuff. I don't think it's that good, though. But anyway, the enemy team respawning here. I don't think this is game. They've baited the Punisher onto their keep. They're lucky to have the mid keep left alive, which is good protection for them. I think at this stage we actually just have to back off, which is a big, big problem. It's a big problem. So even with that Punisher, it's not game yet. It is not game yet. We're still in this. I'm saying I can go onto the fort. Kerrigan is going for this siege camp, so we'll be able to take that out as well. I don't think it will actually do anything, but we'll take it. I suppose it's more of a denial than anything else. Anyway, we would love to have a fight somewhere where I can have Molten Core and be able to pump that damage out. So yeah, as I said, the enemy team is going to clear out that siege camp very quickly. We're going to be able to grab this one. And then we definitely need to be super careful actually taking the last one. It's such an obvious thing. This is a huge mistake people make all the time as well in Hero League, is they just go from camp to camp in a really obvious way. So for example, if the enemy team had just been moved over, waited in a brush, and then ganked us there, they probably could have won the game, because we weren't really paying attention. Look at them Brightwing Qs. So good. So good. And at this stage, I mean, the game is still pretty much dead even. Now, we have been winning the team fights, which is a pretty big deal, so that's nice to see. Kelthus doing huge damage. Look, they've got so much wave clear between Zul and Kelthus. We really cannot push in without a Punisher. So we really need to win the Punisher fight. That's kind of like our into this game. Get hit by the first Flame Strike, but dodge the second one. Was a bit concerned that Gul'dan might be out of position, so we gave him the Blast Wave, try speed boost him out. Kerrigan in a rough spot. Once again, the combo misses, but we land Sulfuras Smash onto the Kelthus. Does a bit of damage, but we're in a rough spot here. We're trying to do what we can. This is not looking good. Our Q, though, is healing us and keeping us alive alongside the Brightwing. I'm actually backing off. I think we could stay in this a bit longer, actually. Gul'dan does die off to the side, and this is a very awkward spot. I would like to get into a fort. Maybe that would help out. Moving towards the fort. Actually don't need to. We're able to Hearthstone here. Brightwing is kind of lurking though. Looking for a Q. So this is really bad. I'm actually going to pop into this just to save Brightwing. And there we go. Having to burn that cooldown to keep the Brightwing alive. She was a little bit out of position. If we hadn't used Molten Core there was a very real possibility that they would have just dived and killed her. I think maybe we could have continued. Even though we were super low on health, I think we could maybe have continued on during that fight and pulled it off. Anyway, they have... they only have Rhaegar, Muradin, and I think Kelthus left. I think we could actually maybe take this fight. I've got Sulfuras Smash coming up. We've got Brightwing, Diablo, and Ragnaros. I think we could maybe get a pick here. It's certainly worth looking into. Kelthus landing some damage on me again. We don't mind being stunned. We land the Sulfuras Smash on Kelthus once again. The stun means it's a full hit. Maybe should have thrown it on the Rhaegar though and got the kill right there. But we have forced them off, so that's something. That is something. Plus we've got waves pushing in, so they definitely need to be worried about that. We're going to start working on this shrine. Kerrigan could hopscotch. We'll see what happens. Diablo looking for a pick, not a terrible idea. Do a bit of damage. Actually, we missed Greymane, never mind. Our W did not land, and we would like that to land and get some charges of Spell Shield. Would be pretty good for dodging these Kelthus things. As you can see, we just eat that one to the face, which is not too good. And this is a pretty scary situation once again. I'm ready to use Molten Core. I'm actually making my way down to this fort, trying to get into it as soon as possible. There we go. We are in it, and we are ready. Get some damage down, and Greymane does explode, which is really good for us. Get the W's down. We're trying to zone out this Kelthus, do what we can to him. As you can see, we do a lot of damage to him. We've got him down to almost dead, which is pretty damn good. Getting some W's through the enemy team as well. Diablo's almost dead. Looks like he will die. We missed the Sulfuras Smash. That's a huge mistake. But we do get the Punisher. Diablo has respawned thanks to his souls, and we did some decent damage there. We're going to mount up and make our way in. We had some good Sulfuras Smashes in this game and some bad ones. Definitely, you can see it's my first time using it, and there's a lot of room for improvement. Kerrigan goes for the combo once again. It does miss, but there was a cleanse coming out, so it would have missed either way. So that's fine. Good way to remove a cooldown. Good way to remove a cooldown. We got Sulfuras Smash in 30 seconds, and this ought to be game. 2 enemy heroes dead. We got a Punisher. This is a 36-minute Punisher. This should be a pretty easy win, we hope. Good damage from the Kelthus. The Punisher, though, still on 50% health, and it is pushing in on the core. We get a big Q off on the Muradin. Muradin goes down. That's a big deal. We're onto the core at this stage. This should be game. They are respawning, but their tank is dead, and the core is melting. And there you go, 37-minute game. We take the win, all according to plan, says the Kerrigan. Short game, short game. I thought it was a fun game though overall. I definitely picked up a lot of things myself that I could improve with in terms of my Ragnaros play. Maximizing the Qs during the team fight. Aiming Sulfuras Smash. Trying to combo it a bit more. And just target selection of Sulfuras Smash could be a little bit better as well. Like, for example, a couple of the ones we hit near the end of the game. Sure, we hit Kelthus, got a lot of damage on him and kind of zoned him out a little bit. It might have been better to actually focus on someone closer that we could actually get a kill off on. But either way, happy to pick up the win there. We topped the hero damage for our team. You can see Kelthus has massive damage all around, which is nice to see. He did really good. Kerrigan a lot of deaths, as has Zul. But yeah, Sulfuras Hunger's Fire Ward, Hand of Ragnaros, Sulfuras Smash, Resilient Flame, Giant Scorcher, and Heroic Difficulty. That was the build we went for there. And yeah, it worked out pretty well overall, I suppose. It was a messy game. We did okay. I think for me, the MVP for the game was definitely their Kelthus. He played really well, and it was actually the pick fit really well with their composition. And with, well, more so, it worked really well against our composition. And kind of added that to their team, which they kind of lacked. They were quite low on damage. And having Kelthus, you know, just that immense burst damage and area damage against our melee kind of stack composition was very, very powerful for them. Which yeah, I think that is most of the things that need to be said. Hopefully it was good. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And definitely I do think I made a lot of mistakes in this game, particularly more so than usual. And then also showing some inexperience on the hero and how he plays in the current balance patch. Definitely at the start of the game, for example, using a lot of Qs that would have been great when he first released, but are not so great. We missed minion kills by like a small sliver of HP, which is definitely reflective of the fact that we played him in his original state, and I haven't played him since they nerfed him a little bit. Or not much anyway. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed that one anyway. It was a long haul. It's a long slog. I might throw a few of those team fights in kind of slow motion here at the end of this video, because there's a lot of stuff going on in them. Yeah, it was a cool game. You know, the Diablo, I think is a really interesting thing. I thought like his gameplay in the latter half of the game, once he stopped tilting, was actually very good. So it seems to me like the very definition of a player that just gets tilted super easily, flames his team, and then just trolls his team and stops participating in the game. No, I think it's a little bit sad, because you can definitely see that, you know, towards the end of the game he was playing really, really well, and you know, if he just played like that for the whole game, he could climb up higher. But anyway, that's life. That's life. Yeah, I'll see you guys all next time for more Heroes of the Storm. I'm kind of tired. That was a long ass video to record in one sitting. That was a very long one, but yeah, it was probably worth it overall, I guess. We'll be back next time. I'll definitely try and be playing a bit more Ragnaros in the future. I don't have any coming up too soon, but yeah, definitely be looking to play more Ragnaros in the future, and I can bring you some like sort of better quality gameplay with the Sulfuras Smash build, or a bit more confident. But he is unquestionably one of the best heroes in the game right now. So strong, and that's becoming very apparent in the pro games as well. So yeah, I mean, hopefully that's a bit of an insight into how to play him, and you can start using him in your own games as well. All right, I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.